Today's video, we are going to talk about PMAX minimum conversions. Do you need at least 30 conversions to run a proper PMAX campaign for your business that'll produce well so you can make profits through that PMAX campaign for your business? That's exactly what I'm going to cover in today's video, given more often than not, the first question that anybody has at our agency and on this channel about PMAX is, Corey, do I need at least 30 conversions before I can run this campaign? That is 30 conversions on the rest of your account, because I'm being told elsewhere through Google, through some other people on YouTube, that's what I need. The short answer to this is no, you do not, okay? But I'm going to go into detail why it is, and if you want your campaign to actually work as quickly as possible, what you want to do with it so you get that actually accomplished for your business, and know what really does make your campaign successful, stuff you can do to get it profitable as possible, and why you shouldn't delay at all using that PMAX for e-commerce businesses, not lead generation companies and campaigns that you're trying to run. I am Corey Zyman, owner of Guaranteed PPC, an online advertising agency that offers guaranteed results to their clients, that is more profitability from their ads upfront before we charge a management fee, or a new campaign getting it to a certain level of profitability up front for our clients before there's a management fee. We are the only agency in the entire world that offers such a guarantee, or guarantee at all, which should tell you something about the quality of the information I'm sharing with you on this video here today. We've been doing this for over 10 years to give you the advice you're going to receive on this video. So with that said, I'm going to go through what this methodology is to get PMAX working, exactly how many conversions you need in order to get PMAX going, which is actually technically zero. You can be profitable with the PMAX campaign right away with 0 conversions. And if you watch to the end of the video, I will give you some actual case studies of different companies where we started out with a little bit of conversions, a lot of conversions, so you can see just exactly how much the amount of conversion data you have in your account will actually impact the speed in which you get results with PMAX campaigns up front for your company. With that said, getting into the content, there isn't really a minimum amount of conversions you need to run a PMAX campaign at the end of the day, which obviously, I'm sure you know this, but the real question is, do you need a certain amount of conversions so PMAX won't go on and on and on before I reach profitability with my ad spend that I'm dedicating to that PMAX campaign? Or the reality regarding that, what I just said, is the more conversions you have will help getting that PMAX campaign to be profitable, and profitable sooner. That is, less dollars spent on the ads up through your PMAX campaign before you hit break-even profitability with that campaign. But you can still run a profitable campaign with only 5 to 10 conversions in your account a month and count on that PMAX campaign working very well, very quickly for your brand. And with that, to clarify on my point here, cumulative conversions are more important than conversions per month. Because what I hear people saying specifically is, I've been told by Google and whatnot that you need at least 30 conversions a month to run PMAX successfully and not have it, run at a negative ROI or whatnot. What I'm telling you here, first and foremost, is it's not conversions per month that matter. Yes, you may have heard that before from Google. You need 30 conversions a month. What I'm telling you here, and I know because I've run hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of PMAX campaigns for hundreds of different niche markets. The amount of conversion volume is what really matters, not conversions per month. The more conversions you've built up in your account, quicker you're going to hit profitability with your PMAX campaign up front. That is not the only factor here. If you want to hit profitability with your PMAX campaign as quickly as possible for your business, then there's some other stuff that you want to know and or should know to know how quickly are you going to hit profitability if you have something that is decent to market, because the biggest deciding factor as to whether you'll hit profitability at all is what you're offering. Is it better than what your competition offers? Is there a lot of competition at all? Those two things will matter more than anything else you can do to tweak or optimize that PMAX campaign. We've had people that hit profitability with their PMAX campaign the very first week, and there's people that, if we're in a hyper-competitive market like standing tables or standing desks, which there's 25 people trying to advertise for that on Google, ultimately there's only going to be a couple people that make it profitable, because everybody that sells a standing desk wants to sell it through Google search. It's basically the only place that you're going to get a decent ROI, because you don't just stumble upon that type of thing and say, I want to buy one of those right now. Either it was your idea or nothing to make things work there. You could easily have a PMAX campaign run for 24 months before you hit profitability. If you're in a market like that, it's something to consider going in and before you start to run PMAX campaigns for your business. However, it did take 24 months for you with a brand new account, with no conversions at all. You could get that cut down to easily 6 months if you have conversions from other campaigns to help get results sooner. If you've had, in that scenario, if you wanted to take hitting profitability with that PMAX campaign from 24 months to 6 months, well, you would want at least 1,000 conversions / sales. And if we're talking about e-commerce here, which PMAX is you should only be running PMAX for e-commerce companies, and I'm going to explain why in a moment. But you could definitely cut that down from 24 months to 6 months, and that's a realistic scenario if you've had 1,000 sales already, your account as a whole already starting out that PMAX campaign. Another thing to speed results up for yourself would be starting with customer lists to help get results sooner. That 1,000 conversions, you could cut it from 6 months now down to easily 3, 4, 5 months with an added customer list that you add to your account. You could also cut down the time to hit profitability with that PMAX campaign with a regular shopping campaign that you started up first, or in general, if you need to have results as quick as possible, don't run necessarily a PMAX campaign at all and just start with a standard shopping campaign. We don't typically start out with a standard shopping campaign at our firm for our clients, because ultimately it's just going to delay the big overall result that we're actually looking for. Because at the end of the day, that PMAX campaign to run a shopping campaign placement is going to work so much better than a standard shopping campaign, that a PMAX campaign is going to be our standard way to run shopping placements, not a standard shopping campaign. However, if you were in a scenario where you had $1,000, let's say, and you had to make that $1,000 profitable before that $1,000 is spent, otherwise you're not going to be able to run another ad again after that, in that scenario, I would be running a standard shopping campaign, because it's going to work sooner than the PMAX. PMAX is generally going to work better than the standard shopping because it has more machine learning capabilities built within it, but machine learning works better when you have more data. Standard shopping has less machine learning, and you could get profitability sooner, mainly because when you run a standard shopping campaign, you could see all the search terms that people typed in to click on your ad, and you can right away on a daily basis. Daily would get you the results that you want the soonest. Hit profitability as soon as possible. You go into that search terms report, and if anybody is searching for anything that's not super specific and pertaining to an item you sell on that shopping product feed that you have, or on your website, basically, you don't actually let it run in the future. So to give you an example, if somebody's typing in, let's say, brother printer toner, if you see that and you sell brother printer toner, you could actually, if you wanted results as quickly as possible, actually add brother printer toner as a negative keyword, even though you sell brother printer toner, because that in itself is going to convert at like 3 to 5% versus XYG model brother printer toner, which is going to convert, 5+%. So basically double than the first one. Why? Because a higher percentage of those people they already know what they want, and therefore they're more likely to be an actual customer, because there's a lot of people who search for items in your space that never end up being customers. It's increasing the likelihood that you got someone that's actually going to buy, because they already know what they need, versus the person who searched more generically, they don't know what they need. So a lot of people will get frustrated and just not buy. You want to go after people in your market who have already done all the research, because they're the most likely to buy, because they've already known basically what they want, and they've committed themselves to the process, if you will. Like I mentioned in the standard shopping campaign, to get the results as quickly as possible, you just keep adding negative keywords every day to get to where, unless they're searching for a long tail search, your ad doesn't show up. That'll get you to profitability quicker than anything else you can do with your shopping placements. Money spent to get that shopping campaign able to be reallocated, because it's already been spent on a PMAX campaign, knowing that PMAX is where the big money is, and you'll have to build up conversion data in that PMAX campaign to get to the big result with the PMAX results. Even though Google's going to use the conversions from your shopping campaign to run your PMAX campaign, it's still not going to work. That PMAX campaign isn't going to work as good as your standard shopping campaign as soon as you click it on, just to be clear about things. And then running search campaigns, display campaigns, YouTube campaigns, demand gen campaigns, which are the other types of campaigns you can run in your Google Ads account, will work better as standalone campaigns than running any of those different types of campaigns in your PMAX campaign. Because PMAX naturally is supposed to be a blend of all the different campaign types you can run: YouTube, demand gen, which gets you on like Gmail, display network, which gets you on different websites on the web with banner ads and so forth. If you want to run your ads in those other placements, you run a standalone campaign because you have much better controls on what you're doing. YouTube ads, just to give you an example, in order to make YouTube ads, you generally have to be able to target somebody who's already watching a video about your product or service already. If you sell Weber grills, you want to watch videos about, should I buy a Weber grill? Reviews of similar grills in its general price category and feature category. You interrupt them, you explain why you would want to buy Weber grills from you, and then you direct them to your website. That's our general move with YouTube ads. Well, you cannot target an ad that specifically like that through PMAX. They will advertise, the Google reps will tell you that is kind of how it works through your PMAX campaign. And it may be to some degree, but you're going to get way more results way quicker when you put the reins on the campaign right away in that separate YouTube campaign. You could target people who are watching your competitor's channel or watching videos about your competitor's products reviews, or they're watching how to buy a grill. What's the best grills to buy in 2024? That kind of thing. With that, PMAX, it's really only used to you legitimately, and like you could take it from somebody who's ran hundreds of PMAX campaigns and seen even hundreds more work that other clients set up that weren't working. You run PMAX to run shopping placements better than what you could get with a standard shopping campaign because of the added machine learning capability that PMAX has. But to run any of the other ad types, search campaigns, display, you're better off running those in separate campaigns because they run too broadly and therefore are too efficient. And maybe they can run efficient after you've wasted millions of dollars in ad spend already on those placements. You'd obviously want and have to do that. There's no point in doing that. With that, how do you get, by the way, PMAX to run in just regular shopping placements and not search and display and all that? The way that you do that is you run something called a feed-only PMAX campaign where you don't actually have any headlines or descriptions or images, any of that in your PMAX campaign. It's just the product feed. It will let you save the campaign. And then with that, you effectively, because Google has no other information from you, will only run those PMAX ads in the shopping placements on Google. So you can actually run a better version of a shopping campaign through PMAX because of the machine learning that it does have, and exclude all the other placements that don't work as a whole in that PMAX campaign. Google made PMAX so they could get people to spend more money quicker because they know people don't want display ads. But if they bundled PMAX with this display ads, they could sell more display ads. It's basically like taking a gold bar and then hiding a cat turd underneath it, smashing it down, and then obviously offering you the gold bar, that is people that are clicking on shopping ads that work to get you to buy the cat turd with it as well. You can either buy the cat turd and play into their scheme or, run your feed-only campaign and run different campaign types. A lot of people also like the idea of running one campaign. Well, you're going to pay out for non-converting traffic if you want to have that convenience. For most people, they can't have that convenience because they won't make money. Yes, the campaign will weed out traffic that doesn't convert, but not before wasting a bunch of your money on traffic that doesn't convert first. Why put yourself through that? So with that said, and before I continue, if you have any questions about conversions, PMAX, whatever, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. You can also reach out to me at my agency if you are interested in our guaranteed results pay-per-click services, where we're going to offer you a certain lift in your profitability from your ads up front or on a new campaign to get to a certain level with it before taking management fees. We can tell you up front what you're going to get, what we could guarantee for you, all you got to do is just reach out to us at guaranteedppc.com, and I'd be happy to look over and see what we can actually guarantee for you. We also sell ad templates. If we've already worked in your niche market before, you can take the winning ads, landing pages, campaign templates that we've already figured out work for your niche market in a different city or country, give it to you, you copy paste that into your account, and you get the same incredible results we've got for a client after running our ads for years in that space already, for yourself for a small one-time fee. And we've worked in over 100 niche markets, so the chances are quite high that we've already worked in your niche market before. We also have templates that you can use to start a whole other business from scratch and know it's going to work right away. If you want to sell printer toner like I talked about before, you can literally take our template that sold printer toner to sell it in another country our client isn't in and have a turnkey business going with it. We've got people that use these templates to sell leads because the leads we get with the template after optimizing our ads in a certain niche market for years is very low, and they can mark up the cost of the leads by 50% and sell them to another person in that niche market. There's a lot of opportunities that you can do that are available with the templates. All you got to do is reach out to us. We'll tell you what markets we got results in, what results we did get, all of which we can, of course, lay out for you up front if you just reach out to us at our firm here. With that said, getting back to PMAX and results, I mentioned if you watch to the end of this video that I'd give you a couple of case studies that would show you physically how much conversion data affects the results with PMAX and their or lack of their affecting the results. We sold wakeboarding equipment. With the wakeboarding equipment, we had a unique product. So like I said, more than anything, start of this video, I said more than anything, if you want to speed up your success, sell something that's a good value in your market because that'll affect things more than anything, or take what you have and tweak it out a guarantee. I just had a video about how you can offer a free trial, you can offer guarantees to make it different than anything else in your market and greatly speed up your results. But with this product, it was just so much better than the competition, which it was a USA made product that we were selling, which by the way is a great edge in itself because most people try to sell made in China, and when everybody's doing that and you're just the person that sells the high-end USA made product, you'll be the person that is looking better than anybody else by default. Therefore, your ads can work right away like it did for this company, okay? In this particular case, right, the company did not have too many conversions already, okay? We're talking they've only had about 10 conversions starting out from the standard shopping campaign that they had starting out. That standard shopping campaign was only able to get them, or had an ROI of around 500% in that general range, okay? Which for that product, it was okay, so to say. The bigger thing is those 10 sales, they came over like a 6-month time period. With that said, we brought in PMAX to the mix. The PMAX campaign got us 10 plus sales a month right away once we kicked that on with the no feed setup. We were already working with something that kind of already did well, but that standard shopping didn't really do much for the client very much or very fast. That PMAX campaign, when it actually got to where we ran the ads through that, and it did have already the 10 conversions already, it just took off like a rocket. In a lot of ways, if you even have minimal conversion data, PMAX can do very well very quickly. You don't need 100 or 1,000 conversions in order to do well to get a lot of sales quickly at a similar ROI as you're getting before. With that said, going with the standing tables example, okay? We started out running a PMAX campaign there with basically a couple conversions already through a search campaign. That was it for the company, okay? Ran the PMAX campaign. The PMAX campaign, we needed to have an 8-to-1 return on ad spend just to make it profitable to run a campaign for that market. We kicked on the PMAX campaign, again, no feed campaign setup like we normally are going to use at our firm, and we were getting a 150% ROI, so nowhere near the 100% ROI that we needed. And by the end of the first 3 to 4 months, in between 3 and 4 months, we were only able to get that ROI up to about 250%, okay? Lack of conversion data in that case, because it was a competitive market, really affected, what we were able to do with that campaign. So we were losing a lot of money running it without a decent amount of conversion data. But for that matter, we were running the search campaign, and the search campaign wasn't doing any better in terms of ROI as well. So it's not that the PMAX doesn't work without conversion data. It's just all campaigns aren't going to work good without conversion data. And to go along with that, the search campaign and the PMAX campaign will do similarly well with the similar amount of data that's went through the account for something else that you can kind of sink your teeth into in terms of information. We uploaded the customer list. We finally got our hands on the customer list, which if you're doing this for yourself, you should upload the customer list up front right away before you even start advertising, because it'll obviously, like I mentioned before, it will speed up the results that you're getting. We went, I mentioned we ran the ads for 3 to 4 months already, getting about a 250% ROI, needed an 800% ROI. That immediately kicked things up to where we were getting 375, 400% ROI as soon as that was in there, and the results kind of stabilized and things kicked in about 10 days after uploading that customer list. So it got us a big jump. It's not everything. It's not a complete game changer in itself. And we just kind of had to play the game of we advertise to get data. The data is used to get better results, which then we keep running ads, get more data, which goes into getting us better results. And like I've mentioned many times on this channel, in a competitive market, you can easily have to wait a year of just investing what you can afford to lose, and your ROI slowly go up the longer you advertise. Now, you don't have to wait 12 months to get a positive ROI necessarily if you have the money to invest up front. So instead of spending $100 a day in ad budget like we had with this particular client, and it's going to be our typical starting ad budget that we have with a new client, if you were to spend $1,000 a day, that 12 months can be whatever you're doing there can be shrunk down and you can get your positive ROI in basically 18 months or a month and a half, sorry. So it's not about the time, not necessarily, it's the volume of data. And you can pay for that data all at once, or you could stretch it out over time. Most businesses can't throw 10 grand a month at a loss all at once. I usually can get a client to commit to 50 a day, 100 a day, whatever, until it works. I always tell clients, invest what you can afford to lose. ROI is going to get better. We're eventually going to hit break even. And whatever you paid to get to break even, it's going to all pay back once it's profitable. And then it'll just get more and more and more profitable. If they're smart, they'll go ahead and do that plan, because once it's profitable, it'll probably make money for them for the next 10 years. And they'll scale to millions of dollars a year in sales from it several years into it as well. A lot of people will get stuck on, it has to work, otherwise we can't do it. Ads on Google don't work that way anymore. It's all driven off the algorithm, especially when you have competitors, or should I say when you have competitors, because the competitors are getting the section of the traffic that works the best, because Google's, with their machine learning, see certain other people that came before you, how well they convert, and they're going to try to show their ad first. And you actually have to work into the system, show you have a good ad, a good landing page to take people to, and they'll slowly give you a little bit better traffic as you go, but also figure out who buys from you specifically as a company versus other people. And you have to pay your dues. We tell the client, invest what you can afford to lose. We'll optimize it as much as we can. It might be 12 months before we hit our profitability if you have where you need 1,000% ROI, but it'll be worth it, because the money that you're making in 1 month on year 4 will pay for all the money that you pissed away up front to get to break even with your ads. And that is how you have to think about running ads for yourself if you're going to make sense of it. It always makes sense if you have the right mindset going in, which is, as long as things are getting better, and not daily or even weekly, but monthly, okay? You'll know at some point you'll hit break even. It's just, is it going to take 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever? If you go in like that and not be thinking, it has to work, it has to work, it has to work, it has to work, otherwise I'm going to go bankrupt, I'm going to go bankrupt, I'm going to go bankrupt. That's what the average person is doing that fails. They think, I'll invest money into this, and month 2, the sales for month 2 will pay off the ad spend for month 2. Dumb way to approach this. You might get lucky. And if you're in a market where you're way better than everybody else, and it's obvious to everybody, it's obvious to them, or you just don't have any competition and there's still demand for what you sell, you're not going to be getting it to pay for itself on the second month already. Take it from me. I've ran hundreds of campaigns. Very few of the times are we so lucky to market something that we fall into one of those two categories, or the client will let us put an incredible offer together, like a free trial, Most people don't want us to do that, even though I mentioned over and over again, that's generally one of the better options you have starting out to hit profitability sooner, offering a free trial so you appear better at a service than anybody else in your market, and then just work the numbers on the returns you get and so forth, which I just made a video about that, literally speaking. With that said, you got to pay your dues. You can upload your customer list, get better results quicker, get profitability quicker. You can run a standard shopping campaign and hit profitability quicker. Once you're profitable, you can start to run a PMAX campaign. But in any case, it's never going to work right away. And the amount of conversion data you get isn't going to make it so that your PMAX campaign instantly works. If you've had 1,000 conversions in your account cumulatively since you started advertising on Google, you kick on that PMAX campaign, it's not going to work day one still. You're still going to have to pay your dues. Taking 9 months to work, it can take 2 months to work, having had 1,000 conversions built up in the account, or to get to the same level of ROI that you would have got to otherwise by having 1,000 conversions come in from other campaigns that you're running before you kick on PMAX. So does conversion data matter to the speed of hitting profitability with PMAX? Yes, it does, absolutely. Even though you don't have conversion data, it shouldn't necessarily stop you from a PMAX campaign, knowing that you're still going to have to invest in PMAX to get it going up front anyway. And PMAX will get better results than standard shopping. So you could just skip the part with standard shopping if you have money to kind of like, run at a loss up front, just go right to PMAX. And, ultimately with that, PMAX will generally have a better ROI than standard shopping, YouTube, any of the other campaign types. So really, it should just be your first stop. You just advertise, pay your dues, and get to the results already. Use your customer list to get to profitability as soon as possible. Generally speaking, it just doesn't make any sense to run standard shopping up front, then run PMAX, knowing you're going to have to invest some in PMAX, even though conversions have came in through that standard shopping up front to get PMAX going. Unless you're super desperate and only have a teeny amount of money to get things profitable, just run a PMAX right away. Whatever you've done through your other campaign types so far will make the PMAX work sooner, and perhaps considerably sooner if we're talking about 1,000 conversions or more. But PMAX generally works better than the other campaign types anyway. So if you're just starting out, you should just run the PMAX right away. That is, if you're an e-commerce business. Specifically, if you're not e-commerce, then you want to go standard shopping campaigns. Search campaigns right away typically is the very first thing you do, because that's the easiest thing to get to work there, because you have, obviously that's where people that are already ready to buy are, and you have the most control to run those search ads through an actual search ad campaign versus running search ads versus through your PMAX campaign, because you end up having your ads running on this display network as well if you run that PMAX campaign for that lead generation campaign you're trying to run. As anybody who's run PMAX for a lead generation, generate leads versus to sell a product on an e-commerce site. And then you'll just question whether you should be doing Google Ads at all. Whereas if you would have just did a proper search campaign that, yes, it takes more time to set up, they could have hit profitability right away. Maybe not get the cost per lead that you want right away, but at least the leads you have come with a decent closing rate, and you'll have enough confidence to say, yeah, I'm paying $500 a lead, but the leads are good. And if I just get it down to 100, we'll be profitable. And then you just work on getting it down to 100 versus if you run a PMAX campaign to do lead generation, you'll get, for every one good lead, you'll have like 25 bad ones, because the display network has a bunch of bot traffic and people that are trying to juice numbers of how much money they're making through Google AdSense on their websites. And you don't have any place to go with it, relatively speaking. You have to get rid of the bot traffic first. You would have just saved yourself tons of time taking my advice, regular search campaign up front, because that's what it takes to make lead generation campaigns profitable. So with Google Ads. With that said, I'll wrap it up with that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Remember when I said PMAX campaign S was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.